genre.
The Doctor's Companion presents Doctor Who The Long Way Around, the weekly podcast where we review, discuss, and recap every episode of Doctor Who, one Doctor at a time. I'm Cassandra Fredrickson.
I'm Nick Jimenez.
And I'm Scott Corelli.
Today on the show we'll be discussing episodes 4 through 6 of Power of the Daleks, which is the second Doctor's first story.
Yeah, so this is episode 4, which is the one where Lesterson turns down the generator and tries to keep control of the Daleks, which, as we talked about last week, is a very silly thing to do. Everyone's kind of getting used to their new positions of power in this part. Bragen's getting used to his power. Hensel and the Doctor, the Daleks temporarily run out of static electricity, which, as we covered last week, is very bad for Daleks. And so the rebels are meeting. They're like, "How do we do with this? We clearly messed up about these Daleks." And the Doctor noticed that there are just more and more Daleks coming. And it ends with Lesterson overhears the Daleks conspiring, which is the Daleks' favorite thing to do. And then he finds the Daleks are actually starting to recreate themselves on their own. They've started an assembly line of Daleks.
Dalek factory.
The Dalek factory. Daleks building Daleks.
So fun fact about Ben, he can't do crosswords.
Ben can't do a lot of stuff. Ben isn't like the
oh,
other
come on,
kids,
Doctor,
Scott.
you know I can't do crosswords. I didn't know that, Ben, and I'm kind of concerned about bringing you along on these trips.
Was this homeboy sweeping a chimney when the Doctor found him? Like, what's his story? Like, who is he?
He's a sailor, right?
He is a sailor.
He's a sailor?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much better than what I ever could have thought. I just thought he was just like some random guy that was like leaving a pub, and he's like, "Go! You told me that these books can go through time, and time."
I can't do crosswords. I love the Doctor just like stares at him blankly because he's just like, I'm not doing a crossword. It's just like, what are you talking about?
Do you know how to read?
I don't do this a lot, but I could totally see that exchange being like a page in a comic book where it's just like a panel of blank, a panel of like the Doctor kind of like starting to react. And then it's like, I'm not doing that.
That doesn't have anything to do with what I just said.
Okay.
So at that point, the Doctor is deciphering this coded message from the rebels of this colony, and and this is an ongoing problem with a lot of classic Who stories for me, because there are so many rebels. This is something you're going to learn, Nick. Almost like every other Doctor Who story is some sort of civil war. And the thing about this is just like, I don't know who these, what do these rebels want? Like
they're the resistance, Scott.
Of what?
Of the order, the old ways.
What are they? They're the old ways of the Earth colony on Vulcan?
Youth culture forever.
Oh, they're millennials.
Yeah, they're millennials. It is interesting, but you know why I think that is because Alien hadn't come out yet. I don't know, because like when I think of to me, I think the defining Doctor Who trope of the modern era is like there's 6 of these humans and they're in the deep reaches of space and they're gonna get picked off one by one.
Oh, right, yeah.
And, and it's the devil, or like it's Water Mars. But like, I was like, well, they didn't have that yet because they're just, that whole trope was kind of started by Alien, and Alien hadn't come out yet. But you know what had come out? Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
It's funny that you actually mentioned that because as we go further into the second Doctor, the whole, humans are holed up and there's aliens everywhere and we have to, survive this kind of, it's, referred to as a base under siege kind of story.
Yeah.
That is, solidly...
That's his second season, right? Troughton's
yeah,
second
it's
season?
every single episode. Yeah.
It's very Twilight Zone-y Richard Matheson-y. The idea of it's kind of a chamber room drama, but on the outside there's this high sci-fi stuff going on, but on the inside it's your basic humans are always going to dick each other over for power story.
Well, I mean it's cheap,
that's the thing is it's very. I mean, I guess that's why it reminds me so much of something that like the Twilight Zone or not Dark Shadows, but the Outer Limits would do.
Right. It's like a traveling bottle episode, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what they're rebels of. I don't know what they're rebelling against. What
do you got?
I don't understand. Can we talk about the Dalek drink tray? Because a la R2-D2 in Return of the Jedi.
I want to see the deleted scene where he's putting it on him. And he's like, "What is this?" It's a drink tray, Dalek. Why? Just ask people if they want drinks. Daddy, no. Please. No. But no, it's adorable. It fits perfectly. It's been designed for his his stupid round shape.
Yeah.
Are you done with your liquid?
He's like, I love that he's trying. He's still a Dalek, but he's like, "Are you done killing that water?" No.
Oh man.
So I should know. I should say just I want to. I didn't watch the second 4, 5, and 6 in the same way that I watched 1, 2, and 3. I watched this episode, I believe, on it was a YouTube channel called Mr. Classic Doctor Who, and it was really well made, which is why I'm mentioning it. There was a narrator doing the stage directions, and she had a really cool voice, and it would zoom in on photographs, and it was just really well done. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that YouTube channel for doing that.
Well, I don't think the YouTube channel is the one that did that. That is a version of reconstructions. There's been several kinds of reconstructions.
Okay.
And that's one of them. That's probably one of the BBC audiobooks versions.
Okay. What the hell with that channel?
And then they just combined it with video, probably.
There was one that I saw 5 and 6 where it was animated, but it was really crudely animated. The Doctor was wearing his stovepipe hat the whole time, and Polly legit looked like Dr. Zaius from Planet of the Apes.
Oh no!
She was just weirdly lumpy and oval shaped, and had really mop hair, but she looked like Dr. Zaius.
Are you sure it wasn't a Dalek dressed as Polly?
It kind of did, but it just had Polly Doctor. And then, Ben would slide into the frame and just be this potato, and it's oh, you don't know what he's trying to do with them, Dalek. But with me, I will pump them into the Thames River.
Oh, man. So I want to talk about the Dalek Factory because it's one of my favorite things. Just seeing Daleks being constructed, because what I love about it is because it's very confusing, because we've been told over and over and over again the Daleks aren't robots, so I don't understand how they're being mass produced.
And that's really interesting, is because at the very beginning of this story, we have Lesterson and Quinn being oh, they're machines. They're just machines. They're not alive. And the Doctor knows that inside they're weird little yak monsters. But like I imagine that there's like a pool of them, and they're just part of the production line. Like they're like in a big vat, and the Daleks are just like picking one up and throwing it into a completed husk.
It's like the tank at the restaurant where you pick out the lobster you
no,
want.
No.
Just their one bulging eye, just.
Just they're all in a vat.
Oh my god.
At the end, when Lesterson, because Lesterson is like spying on the Daleks and realizing that they're like making themselves and mass producing themselves, and he's spying on this room that's full of Daleks. My favorite part of that room full of Daleks is that 90% of them are just cardboard cutouts that are just chilling in the background. And there's just like 5 Daleks just spinning around in circles in the foreground, and then it's just all cardboard stand up in the background. And I think at some point they ran out of budget on cardboard, because I'm pretty sure in the background it's just paintings of Daleks like on the walls.
Oh my god.
It's a thing of beauty.
My god, look at them. See, this is why I really believe that like these could work. This could work on stage. It's just like the charm of just like, oh, they could only afford one real Dalek.
Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, like even the Doctor is like, well, there's 4 of them, but there's more of them, but we will only ever see 3 at a time.
I would just like to see an episode at some point where like the Daleks get like in some sort of tussle with the flatline monsters, and then and so like the Daleks start getting turned into like cardboard cutouts of Daleks.
No,
and the Doctor doesn't know the difference. He's just like, I mean, they look really realistic.
Oh, look at them, Clara.
Have I seen you before? Yeah.
What, Doctor? There's 2. No, there's so many, Clara. Look at them. There's an army.
Oh my god.
I like that they like made the budgetary restraints part of the plot too, because it's like, oh yeah, there's only $3.
Yeah, no,
and
it's
then
great.
they're just like suddenly 15. Yeah.
It's so I don't know. It's so endearing. They were just by the skin of their teeth, like, we're going to do this.
All right, so that takes us to episode 5, which begins with Lesterson getting the hell out of there, and he's just terrified. And then he blocks the door, and like what's the woman's name that comes down?
Janley.
Yeah, Janley. Yeah, and he's just
yeah.
They're making them. And he just sounds like sounds like a madman. And then the door opens. He's just like, "Oh God, they're coming!" And he runs away. And she's just like, "What the hell, God? What's wrong with him?" And then Lesterson is just like, "I gotta find the examiner so I can tell him that he was right about the Daleks and they're self-aware and this is the whole thing." And he finds out that the Doctor has been put into a jail cell, and he goes and talks to the Doctor, and he's just like, "You were right, this is the whole thing and the thing," and the Doctor's just like, "All right, well, I'm just gonna play my recorder because I already knew I was right, so you're not telling me any new information." And Lesterson runs away, and in just like a mad stupor, and then the Doctor comes up with a plan to like break out of his jail cell, and he does it by asking for water, and then the guy puts the water in the thing, and he doesn't drink the water, he just leaves it there, and then he uses the recorder to like there's like sonic locks on the door, and he uses the recorder to not unlock his door, but unlock Quinn's door. So then Quinn comes out, and then he like lets him out, and then the Doctor uses the water to like throw onto the guard. Like, it's the most insane escape plan I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. And then so yeah, like the Doctor just like annoying people with his recorder is pretty amazing. And then after he escapes, the Daleks meanwhile have sort of like joined forces with Janley and the rebels, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna help you guys fight, so you can take over the colony. It's gonna be awesome. And they're like, great, you guys are robots and you got laser guns. This is gonna be awesome. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna fight. And the Daleks are like, well, we're gonna wait for our perfect time, because their plan is that they're gonna come in as the humans start fighting amongst themselves, and they're just gonna reap destruction. They're gonna kill everything, and then they're gonna take over the colony, and it's gonna be a Dalek colony. And they realize that now is the time to do it. And they all start chanting, Daleks conquer and destroy.
Now is the time to seize.
Daleks conquer and destroy.
Conquer and destroy. Fresh mint.
And they all start filing out of there. Of the thing.
No, the Daleks would make a great fraternity.
They would. Not so different than a fraternity, really.
Like, imagine a Dalek rolls in, but he's wearing like a pink polo with like the collar popped.
Oh man. There's nothing funnier than putting a Dalek in clothes. Just nothing.
We can't have pledges be weird at parties.
Lambda.
I can feel it calling in the air tonight.
Oh my god. So the Doctor just annoying people with his recorder is... I love how he just does it so smugly.
He's like, I know.
Yeah.
I know this is really annoying.
I don't care. This is my choice.
It's like the musical equivalent of like popping your knuckles.
It's great.
Bit of a sequel to what we were talking about last week, but in this episode, according to the TARDIS wiki, the Dalek voice is credited solely as
so
Peter
it is just
Hawkins.
one guy.
Yeah, but the Daleks, the bodies, are credited to 4 actors: Gerald Taylor, Kevin Masner, Robert Jewell, and John Scout Martin. So those 4 men were all of the Daleks.
Out inside the Daleks.
Yeah, wasn't there an episode called All the Daleks? Oh, that was what Asylum with the Daleks was going to be called. It was going to be called All the Daleks, which I think is still a really great episode.
Really?
Yeah, it's way better than Asylum with the Daleks.
All of the Daleks.
All of the Daleks.
All of the Daleks.
Oh, and speaking,
I really want
speaking of, just my favorite line in this episode is just Daleks when they're conniving. Like, they're just, like, coming up with their plan, like, and then we will teach them the law of the Daleks. Like, it's just...
Jim, Tan, Laundry. Jim, Tan, Laundry.
Oh, God, it's so good. I mean, they really are fraternity. They're just... They got pledges, and they got to teach them the law.
This paddle was made in 1965 by President Eisenhower. Oh my god. You know what it is? You know what it is about the Daleks is they are fascist about everything. Like they are uncompromisingly like totalitarian about the stupidest things.
There's nothing better than Daleks are just the funniest thing. Like it's because they're so serious. They don't ever, because Cybermen aren't funny.
Well, because a Cyberman could beat up a Dalek. Like a Cyberman could like knock a Dalek over. Like no, but like you see a Dalek roll up in front of us.
Let's the Cybermen just like go Dalek tipping.
Yeah.
Find a field
of
sleeping Daleks.
The Dalek like wakes up just in time to see them coming and like no, desist. And they just,
then they just start waddling around on the tipped over, just going exterminate.
Damn.
They're right.
Oh
They're like
God.
the Cybermen and the Daleks are like rival fraternities.
They're rival fraternities. Yes, that's exactly it. The Daleks will not raise more money than us during AIDS Awareness Week.
See, now that I have that in mind, like the Cybermen are totally the preppy fraternity with the pop collars and stuff.
Yeah, no. They're like the snotty fraternity, and like the Daleks are like totally like Uzma Kappa. Like they're like the nerds.
Oh,
that
yeah.
They're off campus. Like their house isn't on like fraternity row like all the other ones.
Oh no, I'm really into that idea.
This is your big brother Dalek tech.
And every year when the Cybermen do pledges, there's one Dalek that pledges, like one freshman Dalek.
You will not. I want to be a Cyberman.
I want to be a Cyberman.
Oh my God.
The fact.
Oh man. Oh, it's so good.
I love when there's randomly like a high pitched Dalek, like, yes, we will destroy. Like,
Shut up.
I love the high pitched ones. That's the best. The Dalek echo chamber is just so. Oh God! Like it's incredible in just like how. Like it's unbearable. Like it's just you can't. I can't handle it. Like you can't. Like when they start saying conquer and destroy, eventually it just turns into gibberish that you can't even understand. Because it's just echoing on top of each other, and it's ridiculous.
You know what else would be really great to see? A Dalek try to start a Dalek chant, but it like doesn't work.
I just like
Arby's. It's like rolls back.
I want to see like 3 Daleks like just trying to start like a row your boat thing. Like just
oh my
one
God.
is just like row your boat gently down the stream, and then the next Dalek starts as the other one continues.
Row. Mark. Yeah. Ing. Yeah. Per. Yeah.
Oh my God.
like Dalek Simon and Garfunkel.
Man. Oh God.
They just roll out together. One has like a Garfunkel wig.
This is the sound of silence. Oh my God.
I'm sad that we're not going to see them after this. I mean, like after this story.
I mean, we'll see them again.
Oh yeah.
We're actually going to see them. I think the next time we see them is the next Hartnell story. No, not the next Hartnell story, because I forgot. We got 100,000 BC next, but yeah. I mean, the Daleks they'll be back I think they're back in the next batch, maybe.
Sure. Fun fact about Peter Hawkins: he, as well as voicing the Daleks and the Cybermen, was also the original voice of Zippy on Rainbow. And his replacement on Rainbow, Roy Skelton, later voiced the Daleks. Oh my God! You know who else Peter Hawkins is? He was the voice of. Wait, what? Oh, I was reading it and I'm like, that's not true. But a little known fact, and this is, I'm just going to quote the TARDIS wiki right now. But he provided the voice for Gromit in Wallace and Gromit. It was unused in the end because they were like animating his mouth wouldn't have taken too long. But originally, A Grand Day Out had a full audio track of Gromit dialogue. And it was
awesome.
And it was voiced by Peter Hawkins, and they were like, "Nah, we're just gonna have to go."
Wow, that's interesting. That would have had a totally different vibe.
Apparently, it was a high pitched voice, and it was like just repeating everything Wallace said, which is completely the opposite of Gromit as we know him, who was like completely like the eye rolling like oh, this idiot. The stupid idiot. I hate him.
I hate Wallace.
I hate Wallace. Penguin.
The moon is not cheese.
Oh my god.
My carrot. What was it? What kind of fruit was he? It was a carrot, right?
I don't know.
What was Gromit making that was like the best? It was like a cucumber.
So the doctor gets put in a jail cell in this, and it's just the beginning of just an ongoing thing in Classic Who of the doctor being in a jail cell.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, even the greatest jail cell of them all, the Pandorica.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing though about New Who is that the doctor is not in a jail cell a lot in New Who.
No.
That's a thing that kind of starts with Hartnell and then just keeps going. And I think it comes from the stories being so long, but it's constantly like, oh, we're going to separate the doctor. The companion's going to get captured. The doctor's going to get captured. They need to find a way to get together again. They need to find a way to solve the day. Like, it's like it gets very repetitive. And it's interesting when someone can figure out a new, like, cool way to kind of, like, old dog, new tricks kind of thing. But, yeah, I don't know. Jail cells.
Yeah, and it's always really refreshing when you get a story where that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's always really great.
12 gets captured quite a bit compared to 11 and 10.
I guess that's true. He was in a jail cell a couple of times, like in the Robin Hood episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, kind of hellbent.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's true. It's a whole episode.
All right. So, in classic Dalek fashion, they are gunning to kill everybody. And Bragan is kind of like he committed treason. He kills the governor, and he's power hungry and kind of crazy. Everyone in this episode is just kind of crazy. There is fights break out from the rebels, and then the Daleks get involved, and it's just a lot of carnage. Lesterson shows up, and he is officially gone. He speaks like an infant. He's just like, "Oh, the Daleks will save," or it's really creepy.
Yeah, this is kind of where I mentioned that he was I mentioned last week that he reminded me a lot of Rainfield from Dracula, and this is 100% full Rainfield.
And so the doctor sends some people, there's a lot of weird, all the politics that was happening throughout this story kind of comes to a head. But he has the new governor, send out a human sacrifice almost to, divert the Daleks so he can figure out how to stop them from operating. And he completely messes all of the Daleks up on accident.
An easy thing to do.
And they all spin around like crazy because he overloads them and they explode. And it's really gross. And then there's wrap up and then they leave. And then that's the end.
Yeah, I love the Dalek shootout because the Daleks show up and the rebels are like, all right, reinforcements, and the Daleks start taking people out, and they're like, yeah, awesome, Daleks, sweet, and then the Daleks just start shooting every human,
Everybody,
and then the rebels are like, wait a minute, what's going on? Hold on, whoa.
We hate everyone.
So it's amazing. It's so good. It's so good. Lesterson is completely insane to the point where he starts talking like a Dalek to the Daleks.
Oh my god!
Which is the most. I feel like this is the most condescending thing, where he goes up to a Dalek and he's like petting it, and he's just like, "I will be your servant."
And the Dalek's like, "Hey, whoa!
You have any idea how offensive
we can
that
say
is?
that? You can't say that. Only we can say.
Don't. It's like imitating like a Mexican accent, like in front of a Mexican.
Okay. Or it's like it'd be like if he started trying to talk like jive,
Oh, God.
like in like Airplane.
It's so bad.
And I didn't even know people did that back then. You know, the old secondary bad guy tries to convince like primary bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think of like Predators or like, you know, most recently Jurassic World, where like D'Onofrio was like trying to talk reason to like a damn velociraptor.
Yeah.
I'm one of you. I'm just like you. Even the raptor was like, dude,
No.
I'm gonna eat you, but come on.
Also, not for nothing, but we've done 6 episodes of Power of the Daleks, and like them or leave them, Ben and Polly do nothing in this story.
Oh yeah, like
we haven't even mentioned that Polly has been captured for like 2 episodes now.
Right.
Like at least. I think she gets knocked out in like episode 3 or
Yeah.
something.
And she's just like in a closet with like Regan. I can't even remember who she was with. Like
I don't remember.
Like there's a part where like literally someone is like building a radio or something, and he's like, Polly, help, and Polly's like, my hands are tied.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I mean, that's
I was like, geez.
That's another trope of Classic Who, is that they write themselves into a corner because they have too many companions and they don't have enough stuff to do. And so they just is like, and this one gets captured and we don't hear from them for a while. Mm-hmm. They do it to just simplify their script, basically.
You know, it would be really daring, and I don't think they could ever get away with this, but like, you start off with like 2 companions and then one gets captured, but it's almost like the show forgets to wrap up that loose end and the episode ends and they never solve that problem.
Like wait till you see how they write out Dodo, because it's basically that.
Oh my god.
Oh, great.
I think another reason for that too is because the shooting schedule was so crazy that people would just like, hey, I need to take like 2 weeks off, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll just write you out, it's fine. So unfortunately,
we'll replace you with Megan Fox for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Except like, I mean, was it like everyone talks about how it was like this grueling schedule, but I don't think it really was. They were making 1 half-hour episode a week. Like, how grueling could that possibly be? Like, people talk about about making soap operas. Soap operas are daily. But like, people talk about making sitcoms, like you know, the people like Friends or How I Met Your Mother or like any of those like studio sitcoms, multicam sitcoms. Like, they talk about it being like the easiest job ever, because you show up on like Tuesday and you do like the read through of the script, and then you show up on Wednesday and you do a dress rehearsal, and then on Thursday you do like a full rehearsal, and then on Friday you do it in front of the audience and you record it, and then that's it. And it's like it's like you go home at like 5. You go home at 5 o'clock every day. Like, it's super easy.
And then you get like $42 million.
Right, exactly. So like, I can't imagine it was as grueling as people say it was. I think maybe it was just a different time back then, and it wasn't.
And you know, and I'm sure the conditions weren't that great. I mean, you know, the show wasn't exactly like the belle of the ball yet. I mean, even now in 2015, like, all you hear about Doctor Who production is that it's like thrifty, fast, and like get it done. And if
Right.
the doctor needs knee surgery, we'll replace him with another older doctor who will also need knee surgery.
Well, now it's not multicam. You know,
That's true. That's very true.
So it's a different kind of production, but
They should go back to
then in
multicam.
Classic Who, it was a multi. I mean, it was shot like a multicam sitcom. You know?
Yeah. I mean, there was that great line in Adventure in Space of Time where the director is told, like, oh, no, we only have 3 cuts. Like, in the whole episode. So like, you need to pick your battles, dude.
Yeah.
I think also because the show was year-round, like, the modern sitcom only has, like, 20, maybe 30 episodes. But, like, they were shooting and, like, it was airing every week, like, for months on end. So,
Right.
I don't know.
That definitely probably had partly to do with it. But I do get this weird vibe of just, like, it's one thing where Hartnell's just like, I need breaks because, you know, he's like 58 or whatever toward the end of the show.
Right, yeah.
But like, come on, Ben and Polly, like you don't need 3 weeks off. Like you really didn't. Like you could have kept going, but
Spoken like a true director, Scott.
well, I mean, look, they're young. They're young, and it can't be a difficult job.
They're not racehorses, Scott.
Maybe they are. Maybe
I'll
they
work
are.
you till I break you, and then I'll replace you with someone younger. Get out there and be Ben.
Get out there and be Ben. Every time I hear Ben and Polly, I always think of those and I think of Polly Pocket. Remember Polly Pocket?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I always think of. Like I just feel like they're characters from Polly Pocket. Like
Ben and Polly, they sound like that couple that you really like. Oh crap, Ben and Polly are here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh God. I don't know how Polly puts up with him.
No, Ben and Polly are still dating. Oh,
Really?
they're
Oh,
getting
I didn't
married.
think that was gonna last.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Here's the 5 years you my wonderful bad Polly. It's like a Facebook. It's like a Facebook anniversary. The doctor's like, unsubscribe. Not unfriend, just unsubscribe.
I also I love that this story weirdly ends on a beat of like one of those like the end like question mark.
No, it's a weird
Yeah.
ending. Like I thought I had missed something at first. I was like, oh no, I didn't get the whole thing.
No, it's great.
No.
The Dalek is alive.
The Dalek is alive.
It watches the TARDIS leave, and then it's like, now it's time.
And then it plays like
I've-
the window to the wall.
So I've seen Evil of the Daleks, of course, but I don't remember. Is it a direct sequel to this?
I don't think so.
Okay. I just couldn't remember. Because it is
Yeah.
interesting that they leave it on like this weird like Twilight Zone ending of just being like, we defeated all the Daleks, and they leave, and then the one Dalek is like, nope, still alive.
Well, I mean, we
Yeah.
know that he's going to see them again.
No, I know, but like I think in this, for this particular story, the idea is that Dalek is still alive, and now the base doesn't have any power, so it's just gonna go kill everybody, right? And
They
take
should
the
they
base
should bring
over?
him. They should bring him back next year.
That Dalek.
Yeah. Hello, old friend. It's like it's like all like spazzed out and like falling apart. It's like half made of other stuff.
Oh my
What?
Like
I've
those guys
crossed-
from The Doctor's Wife.
Yeah. I have crossed oceans of time to find you. Ugh. Capaldi just like pushes it.
Oh God.
Go away. Ugh, gross. Who's that, Doctor? It's no one, Craig.
I just love that you always go back to Craig being the next companion because you want it so bad.
I really do. I don't even know why I want it anymore.
I mean, it's not going to happen. He's got a nightly talk show now.
No, he's busy singing in cars with like Adele and Sia.
Yeah. But Yeah, I love
it.
this. I love this story. It's so good.
No, I love it. It's so campy, but weirdly I get the same feeling that I from watching this that I do when I watch the Vincent Price House on a Haunted Hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would show this to my kids on Halloween.
I think that
I don't have yet.
I think that of all the stories that do not exist, this is the one that hurts the most, I think. For me, and it's just because I want all of the regeneration stories to exist. And it bums me out that this one doesn't, because the little glimpses of footage that still exists that you see is just so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
And it always snaps your attention because you're just whoa, stuff's moving. Oh my God, there was 5 seconds of stuff. That was awesome.
I would be really interested to see an episode of the show proper that plays with the format of a regeneration story or a reconstruction story.
What do you mean?
I don't know, just the idea of I feel like so much mood was generated just from I really felt like I was being told a story in a way that I don't get from TV. There was kind of a ghost story, spinning a yarn, hearing the voices, and just seeing. Yeah. But when you would see movement, like Scott said, it would be really effective.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll be curious to see what you think of, because you got your first taste of Troughton here, but because your first Troughton story is a reconstruction, and I think your next one also.
Well, good.
I don't think you get an existing Troughton until parts of the Underwater Menace. I think
2017.
Oh God!
I think that's the next time, because Highlanders doesn't exist either, right?
I think it does, but
does
I could be wrong. It's been a while.
Yeah,
I could be making that up.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
Are we good? Are we going to close the book on the power of the Daleks?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you can always head up to our website at thedoctorscompanion.us, let's just say, and we have a donation button now. It's hooked up through PayPal. So, if you want us to, film scenes from Spotlight, but have Mark Ruffalo be a Dalek, you can.
You can send us a couple of $1 million.
Now they did it.
Button.
It goes all the way to the top.
You could also just send us $1. That works too.
Or $1.
But we can't guarantee we would film anything for $1.
No. Contact at thedoctorscompanion.us if you want to scold us for what we've done this past 2 weeks. Tweet us at TDC Pod to do exactly that.
TDC Pod.
TDC Pod. There's got to be 30 Dalek parody accounts, right? On Twitter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tumblr, the Doctor's Companion podcast.tumblr.com. Here's the thing, guys. Dueling Genre has friends on Tumblr. It's where we get the coolest feedback from people about any of our shows. Mm-hmm. On Facebook, you can like us on Doctor's Companion. iTunes, leave us a 5-star review, which is always the dopest thing you can do for a podcast. And speaking of dueling genre, we are not just talking about Doctor Who. We are talking about Back to the Future and Back to the Future Minute. And
I think at this point we just wrapped the movie.
Oh wow! So we're about to be taking a little bit of a wow. That kind of hit me a little weird in a weird way.
Yeah, we're about to take a couple months off. But if you haven't listened to Back to the Future Minute yet, it's all there.
And then we'll be doing season 2 of the show with Back to the Future 2 in the spring. And Geek by Night, the crown jewel of the dueling genre empire. It's our audio podcast that Scott and Cassandra and I write and produce and direct. It is so dope. It is like getting a hug every couple of weeks from your new nerdy friends that like all the stuff you do. But they have superpowers, and they're going to go through stuff. They're going to change and grow and eventually die. And at Patreon,
geekbynight.net.
Geekbynight.net. And you can subscribe to the show on Patreon and get all kinds of cool stuff, including omnibus editions of the episode. We split, very similar to Doctor Who, kind of inspired by Doctor Who, as a matter of fact. We split the stories into 2 parts. But if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can get an omnibus edition in which the episode is in its feature length that it was originally written. And it's a deep dish, really cool experience. And next time on The Doctor's Companion, The Long Way Round, we will be covering the Third Doctor with his very first adventure as we take a spearhead from space.
Nick, I am so excited for you to watch the Third Doctor.
I'm excited too.
Man.
I think you're gonna go. I think you're gonna lose your mind. Also, it's gonna be your first. Oh God, there's so many good stuff about Spearhead in Space. I'm so excited. I don't want to spoil anything.
Is this another reconstruction?
No. We don't have another reconstruction until I think the Highlanders in our next set of, like, the next time when we come back around to the Second Doctor.
Okay.
I think is the next time we have any reconstruction. So everything exists for a while now.
Well, this was an interesting experience. I actually had a lot of fun delving into the reconstruction. I felt like I was like looking at old like torn pages from like the Bible that didn't make like the Council of Nicaea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this wasn't even canon. Oh my God. You know, like you feel like you're like uncovering something.
Right. Totally. But yeah, Spirit from Space is great, and I'm really excited for you to meet John Pertwee because I think
he's
so good, and there's been things that you have said in the past, Nick, about like what you wish Doctor Who would do, and every time you've said it, I'm just like, man, just wait till he gets to John Pertwee.
I'm excited, and I can't wait for you guys to listen in.
Yeah, so we'll see you next week.